The couple went on vacation to a cabin inherited from one of their parents. At first they seemed fine, but everything turned into horror when one of them started to betray them. They are Jackie and Jules. They had just arrived at a cabin inherited from Jackie's parents that had not been occupied for a long time. They are a lesbian couple and will celebrate their first anniversary. The cabin was very large and spacious, located in the forest. A few moments later, Jules called out to Jackie, but there was no answer. She tried to search every corner of the room but also did not find her. Until Jules saw Jackie outside the cabin by the lake while looking at the old damaged building. Jules was worried about what happened to her, then they returned to the cabin to prepare for dinner. Jules felt lucky to be a part of Jackie's life. She was beautiful and good at doing several things, including playing the guitar, even though the lyrics of the song she sang were a bit scary because they told of a cruel devil. After that, they got ready to sleep because it was late at night. A few moments later, a car came to their cabin. Jules was afraid that it could be a bad person who wanted to rob them. But it turned out that a woman got out of the car while greeting Jackie. With the call Megan. The woman's name is Sarah and she is Megan's old friend. Jules was confused and surprised because Sarah called Jackie Megan, who was lying here. Sarah just wanted to make sure that the cabin was occupied because Megan had not been seen for a long time. After that, Sarah left. Last night's incident made Jules annoyed with Megan for lying using a pseudonym, but Megan tried to make her melt by giving Jules a necklace with a photo of the two of them in it. Besides being good at playing guitar, Megan is also good at hunting and shooting. When she was young, she was taught by her late father. Then the next day, Jules woke up and got a voice message from Megan that she went to town early in the morning. But Jules felt that Megan was lying. It could be that Megan went to Sarah's house, which was across the lake. Jules felt like they had a relationship in the past. Jules didn't think twice and went to Sarah's house by boat and was greeted by Sarah, who saw her. It seems that what Jules thought was wrong. Sarah already had a husband named Daniel. At that time, Jules saw a photo of Megan, Sarah, and a friend named Jenny, but Megan never told her. This made Jules even more annoyed. She asked for an explanation of who Jenny was and why Megan didn't tell her. Jenny was their friend who had died in an accident, so Megan didn't want to remember her. Jules believed every word Megan said. Then they seemed to make up. They went to the edge of the cliff while looking at the beautiful view. Then suddenly, Megan pushed Jules and fell in a worrying condition, and Megan was sure Jules would not survive it. Megan looked sad in the cabin. Then the next day she returned to the bottom of the cliff, but Jules was no longer there, only the necklace she gave her. Jules was still safe in a very weak condition. She heard Megan's screams calling her. Jules tried to keep quiet and hid because she didn't know why Megan did that. Jules had to survive 2 nights in the forest, while Megan took her gun to find Jules's whereabouts. Jules managed to return to the cabin, trying to find a cell phone to call the police, but there was no signal and network. Megan also returned to the cabin and found traces of bandages. That meant Jules had just left there. Megan didn't stop until she got Jules. They chased each other using a boat until Jules was finally caught and threatened by her. Jules' plan was to ask for help from Sarah and her husband. Not long after, Daniel saw them, so as not to look suspicious, Megan invited Daniel and Sarah to dinner in her cabin. Jules couldn't move much or speak freely. If that happens, Megan will not hesitate to finish her off. That night, Sarah and Daniel came to dinner together. They chatted, but Jules had a hard time hiding her worries. When Megan talked to Daniel, it gave Jules the opportunity to ask Sarah for help, but Megan didn't let that happen. Jules had time to tell Sarah and ask Daniel to be careful with Megan, but it was too late. Megan killed Daniel. Then Sarah mutilated him and threw him into the lake. Meanwhile, Jules was still Megan's prisoner and was tied to the bed so she couldn't escape. Jules couldn't move freely. She was watched until she found several necklaces similar to the ones Megan gave her. It turns out that Megan had had many partners, including Jenny. Jenny died not because of an accident, but because Megan killed her. It seems she has mental problems. Megan invited Jules to go to town, but here Jules managed to inject Megan and then she fled into the forest. When Jules was cornered, Megan tried to approach her, but the anesthetic reaction from the injection worked and she passed out. Jules had the opportunity to leave Megan there, but she couldn't bear to go back. Unfortunately, Megan wasn't there. Jules returned to the cabin looking for her and prepared herself with a weapon. Then she turned on loud music so that Megan would be aware of her presence. Jules did this on purpose to lure her to come. When Jules managed to catch Megan, that's where the chaos happened. Megan, who was trained to face danger, made Jules fail to shoot her many times. Instead, Megan managed to paralyze Jules until she dragged her to the same cliff and dropped her again and made sure that this time Jules was dead. When Megan returned to the cabin, she found a laptop containing Jules' video. In the video, Jules explained that the injection not only contained anesthetic, but also contained a compound that could cause blockage of blood vessels to the brain. In other words, Megan might have a stroke. Hearing that, Megan panicked and her body began to turn pale. She ran into the forest and fell helplessly. Meanwhile, Jules, who fell on the cliff, was still breathing. Was she still alive?